Hey guys, it's John and Shannon, and we're back for a November net worth update. So this is an update to our net worth series. If you haven't seen our previous net worth videos, check them out. The links are below, but watching them will help you follow along with what we're doing in this video. But in this video, we have some great news, which is that we've made a lot of progress on our debts, as we'll get to, but this is a picture of us a week ago at Thanksgiving with two of our friends and with our little brother through the Big Brothers program that we featured on this channel before. The first slide here is our debts.
So in October of 2019, last month, we had paid off an incredible $47,400 on credit cards due to some crazy jiggering of funds that you can see in our last video. This month, we still did really good. We paid off $21,400 in credit cards for a change of $26,000.
Everything else on this slide is just stuff that we didn't intentionally pay off, but just because we were paying kind of like the minimums we had to pay off. So our student loans went down by a little bit. Our mortgage on our house went down by a little bit, about $600, and our investment property debt, that's all the debt, mortgages on all of our investment property, went down by about $3,000. These are just paying the normal mortgages back for all of these properties. So it's a total change between October and November of $30,000, which is a tremendously huge amount.
Yeah, I'm so proud of us. It's worth noting too that on the student loans, house mortgage, and investment property debt, we're actually making much larger payments of that. We're just counting here the reduction in our principal. Right. So we're making interest payments on top.
So the next slide is a pie chart of our debts. So as you can see from last month, that's October 2019 to November 2019, nothing has changed except that the percentage of our debt, which is credit card debt, has changed from 2% to about 1%. So soon that will be 0%. I think that will be 0% by next month. And we'll tell you how we're going to do that in the next video. But it's basically the same from month to month.
Great. So the next slide, we reconcile our assets here. So we've got the biggest asset is our investment properties by far. This was about $2.5 million in October, and it remains unchanged in November. The value of our house similarly remains unchanged from about $550,000. You can see that our house, our personal property, and the value of our car are each in gray, and that's because, as you'll see, we don't count these when calculating our net worth in our conservative calculation.
They also didn't change from October to November. So one thing that we're doing in these videos is we're going to change some of the valuations of our properties and things like that over time. But on a month-to-month basis, I don't think that, for example, the value of our house has changed all that much, the value of our investment properties has changed all that much, and I don't really care to track it like on that level of granularity because I think that it's going to be really hard for all of our properties and would probably make us go insane. So probably like once every couple months,
maybe every quarter.
Maybe every quarter I'll go through and see if we can update what we think the values of our properties and things like that are a little bit hard to measure are.
So the retirement and investment accounts went up by about $5,000. So now the balance in our retirement and investments account is around $78,000. So this is, it's important to note that while we're doing our debt snowball, we are still contributing to our retirement and investment accounts. We decided that we could comfortably pay down the personal debt that we have, so our credit cards, our house, and our student loans within 5 years while still maxing out our retirement, and so that's what we decided to do.
So the remainder of the stuff, so we used our checking account and savings account to pay back some debt. That's why our checking account balance is below by about $7,000. And then the big thing that happened to us in November, believe it or not, is that's when we got our tax refund for taxes from 2018 because we filed our taxes in October. So we finally got part of our tax refund. We got our federal tax refund, which is about $15,000. We're still waiting actually on a tax refund from New York State, I think. So our business accounts increased by a little bit. They're just kind of like normal variability in our business accounts. This is also our pro rata share of them because some of them we own with other people, whatever else. But that all adds up to a decrease in our total assets of $13,568.
Which went straight to our debt. So here we go. This is just a graphical representation of our assets. As you can see, our investment properties comprise the huge bulk at almost 80% of our assets, and our house, which again we don't count in our conservative calculation of net worth, it's about 17%, and everything else is quite a bit less.
So this is our net worth spreadsheet or slide, which is essentially summing our net worth in the traditional way. That's total assets, including our house, minus total debts. In October 2019, so last month, it was $825,000, and this month it is $842,000, which is an increase of $17,266, which we're super excited about. That's
awesome.
Mostly debt pay down, because actually our assets kind of just shifted into paying back our debts. So we're very excited about that. We're back on the upswing. I think we had a down series of months, and now we're back up.
After we bought our house, we went down a little bit. So our conservative calculation, as you guys can see on the next page, takes all of our assets, but we subtract the things that we would not want to liquidate in the case of a pants on fire emergency. So if everything went wrong and we had to sell everything we owned, we would not want to sell our house, our personal property, or our car. So for our conservative purposes, we don't track those as part of our net worth. So we took our $3.2 million, subtracted $550,000 for our house, $15,000 for our personal property, $10,000 for our car, and then on top of that, subtracted all of our debt, the remaining debt, which is $2.4 million, for a conservative net worth in November of $267,000, which is again up 17 grand from October.
It's the same amount because we didn't think that the value of any of our non-liquidable assets have changed. So our house didn't change, our personal property didn't change, the value of our car didn't change. So our conservative net worth went up by the same amount as our traditional net worth. But the next slide here is a picture of our net worth. We actually realized that this is a little bit confusing because the slide is showing years at times in the bottom and then months. So it actually kind of misstates a little bit the velocity of these changes. So we're going to look into a way to change that in future months. But for right now, you can see our net worth over the last couple months has been more or less flat relative to the huge changes that have been happening over time. It's been maybe going up and down by about $10,000 or $20,000 per month, which is actually quite a lot. But on the purposes for the graph, it looks like it's kind of in the same area because we've been negative, positive, all up and down in the past 10 years or so. And the next slide is our conservative net worth over time. So it's kind of the same story, but it's been on a small upward trend, which we're hoping will continue.
Absolutely. So now we want to take a few minutes to focus on the debt paydown aspect of this journey. And we want to talk about all the debts we paid down in November and talk about how we did it to see if we can sort of share knowledge and help anyone else who's going along this journey. So in November, we paid off about 26 grand in credit card principal, 1,000 in student loan principal, 600 towards our house's mortgage, the principal, and about 3 grand towards the investment property debt, for a total of 30 grand in 1 month.
It's an insane amount.
It's a lot.
Huge amount.
So what were the sources of this income? How did we do this? So the biggest chunk was, again, what I would classify as a windfall and not something that's going to be repeatable every month. We got our federal tax refund of 15 grand. So this is...
Well, it's more like a mistake that we made many months ago in withholding too much money. So we essentially, I think as you like to describe it, gave the government an interest-free loan for quite a long time because we overpaid every month on every paycheck on our federal taxes. And we also file our taxes late. We got an extension until October. So we didn't get the refund until November, which meant that we could have had $15,000 not only in like April or May if we had filed it on time, but more likely in 2018 if we didn't withhold the amount of money that we withheld. So
that's a big wah, wah. Yeah. We really messed up. We've gotten this wrong before the other way too, where we've had to owe the government. It's really hard because John is an entrepreneur and so his income is quite variable, and so we'll withhold too little or withhold too much, and we've got to figure out.
This is like deserving of an entire another video, like determining your federal tax withholdings correctly.
When we figure that out, we'll let you know. If you figured it out, let us know what your systems are. Okay, so we have a couple of side hustles in addition to our regular jobs. So we got $1,500 from reviewing college essays. So that's been great. We have a couple of videos on our channel about our tips and our tricks in applying to colleges. We're both graduates of Yale University, and John has been an interviewer for Yale for the last many years. And so people reach out to us from those videos and ask for assistance, and we charge a pretty small fee actually for the amount of work it entails. And we made about $1,500 from that. We
made money through our commissions with Bright Line Eating. So if you watch this channel, you might be familiar with the fact that we're both big adherents of a diet called Bright Line Eating, which has helped us lose a ton of weight. So we have an affiliate relationship with them where we get paid for people that sign up for the program. So November was a really big month for that for us. We got about $1,000. And then we also used some of our income and savings just to pay back our debt. So we had money in our checking account that we didn't need to have in our checking account, and we used it to pay back our debt. And the sum of all of that is over $30,000, which I think is an amazingly large amount. Even if we hadn't had the tax refund, I think it's still a big amount.
Absolutely, I'm super proud of us. So moving on to our second to last slide here, the debt graveyard. So we're showing you guys all the debt that we've paid off since adopting the sort of Dave Ramsey approach to rapid debt pay down back last month in October of 2019. That month we paid off 54 grand. This month we paid off 30 grand, 800 for a grand total of about $85,500
2 months.
In 2 months.
Crazy. I think next month is going to be another 30 banger or maybe a 40 banger.
Right, because I'm expecting to get my bonus next month, so it's going to be.
There are a couple other things that we'll talk about next month, but for now.
So yeah, this is like a big shovel situation, but I think that the principles remain the same. Hustle, work as hard as you can to maximize your income, reduce your spending to as little as you can. We've been cooking and eating at home and, trying really hard to reduce our consumption, trying not to buy too much stuff. These same principles hold true no matter what your income or no matter what your debt is. So we hope that you guys will continue along with us on this journey and let us know down below your tips and tricks, criticisms, constructive feedback that you have for us. And if you like this video, please hit thumbs up and subscribe and leave us a comment down below.
Until next time, guys, be well, do good.
Do well. You know it. Until next time, guys, do well and always make things better.
Whoa.